I was excited that you had a largest clinic that provided nutritional therapy for mental illness almost like 20 some years ago. And I'm curious about what happened to that clinic. And the second is not really question, is testimonial, because I'm one of the students studied with you almost like 10 years ago. And we have utilized the protocol in our clinical practice. There are a few patients who can only afford to do nutritional therapies because we offer other modalities in combination with nutritional therapy. But we have a few cases that only do the nutritional therapy and had incredible results, purely a credit to your protocol. And we have a young man who been diagnosed with OCD, Tourette's, and ADHD. And we had a young woman who was diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, hospitalized many times. We have a gentleman who suffered from OCD all his life, and they all got literally kind of, I wouldn't say cured, but began to have a normal function without medication after year or 2 years treatments. And so that's really, really valuable kind of for us and for the patients. This type of treatments is really what people are looking for. And how come the clinic did not thrive?
The clinic was thriving beautifully. But one problem was that in the beginning, we started a very humble group. There were only 3 or 4 of us. It just grew and grew and grew. We got national attention, been on national television in USA several times. And we just found ourselves flooded with, not exaggerating, tens of thousands of requests for treatment at our clinic. And we just grew and grew and grew. Problem is, I didn't like being the boss, for one thing. And I didn't like working with accountants, lawyers. And I didn't like that part of it, the business part of it. So I stepped down and gave up all my power. And I got the title of chief scientist at the Pfeiffer Treatment Center. And everything went beautifully for several years until the board of directors began to change. And they started taking a different approach. Then eventually I felt I had to leave. So I parted ways. I left and started the Walsh Research Institute, a public charity. Since I already had worked with many, many doctors, and it was already training doctors, I thought the best use for us was to focus on research. And we're very active in scientific research, and it's going really well, by the way. And also continuing to communicate with doctors and just get the word out to people like yourself. And I'm very delighted that you have taken on the responsibility of starting an effort in China to give this information to doctors in China. There's a doctor in Japan who's doing what you're doing. In other words, he has now got a large number of doctors who are, and has leadership in doing this. There's a man and a doctor in Norway who's doing this. So I'm totally in support of what you're doing and I'd like to help you.
Well, thank you so much for the information. That's really a good lesson to learn, how we do not lose our vision and the mission in our medical practice. I think that's really sad.
It is. It was very sad, but it was, I think, something that was wonderful for me, because if I was still there, I would have never written the book I wrote. I would have never been able to expand training.
In the Chinese philosophy, there's always the good side of a bet. So there's
absolutely
2 sides of one matter. So
what looks like something terrible might be something wonderful.
Yeah,
that's what we've experienced.